Good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
What a game last night. Couple of good games last night, but what the Lightning did to the Panthers. Mucked up that game, got it nice and slow, and then took it to them. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. We're going to be all over the Lightning this morning. Brian Bradley will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll chat with him. Good friend of mine, Trent Ferguson, will join us as well, who does some sports radio in DeLand. Also a very inspirational figure, legally blind, and has just graduated with a 4.0, did his commencement address. So I always like to check in with Trent every now and then. So we'll talk with him and Brian Bradley, and we'll interact with you as well, as we always do on Twitter, at FanstreamJP, at Nick Geddes News, at the JP Peterson Show. You could do that. You can also watch us on YouTube and comment there, and on Twitter and Facebook. And Nick Geddes joins me here from Outkick.com. You enjoy watching that game last night, my friend? Kucherov, after a little bit of a slow start, flipped a switch, and the magic was there.
I'm happy the game flipped a switch because I'm going to be honest with you. I was absolutely bored for, I think, the first 30 minutes. I actually was I was in my living room for a change last night watching it.
Wow.
And I know I got out of my room a little bit.
Wow.
And no vampire last night.
Okay.
But anyway, I literally had to lay my head on the little middle part of my couch for a little, and I was going back and forth with the eyes a little bit.
Wow.
I actually,
you know what? That's a good sign, because if this series gets up tempo and back and forth and run and gun, Lightning are in trouble. They did exactly what we said they should do yesterday on the show. And we kind of talked about this. Muck it up, get in the neutral zone, just kind of keep them from getting the odd man rushes, let Vasi be Vasi, and we're going to need something special from Kucherov. And that's exactly what we got last night. Kucherov needed to be special and I think just when Florida was getting nice and frustrated, the crowd was an absolute non-factor. I'm guessing they were all watching the Miami Heat game on their phones. They're all I don't know about the quality of the hockey fan in South Florida. That arena was freaking dead last night. It was dead. And so was the team. They got no energy. And I think the Lightning played exactly the way they wanted to play. I thought they were ferocious last night, especially in the third period. They ticked it up a couple of notches last night. I thought their energy and their effort, especially going into the corners, there was never any time and space for any of the Panther players for the most part. I thought they did an incredible job on the penalty kill. That's exactly, I think, the way John Cooper wanted that game to play out. Couldn't have been better.
Especially the third period in particular. That was a
clinic. That was
a lesson in how to play shutdown hockey in the playoffs. And I tweeted yesterday, it looked like a team that knows how to win hockey games this time of the year. And I know Vasilevsky made a really big save at one point during the third period. I believe it was halfway on Claude Giroux when the game was still, I want to say it was still 1-1 at the time, or it was 2-1. It was 2-1
probably, yeah.
And he made a really good save in the slot where he got over really quickly, and he made it look really easy. And that was really the only high scoring chance that I really saw from Florida in the final 20 minutes of play. They totally took over that game, forced a few more penalties. I think Florida was very careless with their sticks yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, high sticking penalties we see yesterday. But the Lightning took advantage, and that's the story of it so far. I think the Panthers, are they 0 for 22?
Yeah.
On the power play?
Yeah, it's awful. With that kind of talent, it's unbelievable.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah, and Huberdeau, you mentioned this. He's pass happy, and then the Lightning, and we'll replay some of their goals and comment on them as well. They just were biding their time, just almost like a distance runner. Just keep the pace nice and slow, keep on your pace, and then at the end, put the foot on the gas pedal, get a lead, and then lock it down. Absolutely lock it down. I thought it was a tremendous first game, and I thought last night would be the one where the Lightning would get run a little bit, and then come back and win game 2 in this fashion. But to win this game like this in the beginning of the series, the Panthers are sitting in their dressing room right now thinking, how do we beat these guys? And I think maybe that last game, what was it, 8-4 down there?
Yeah.
Late in the regular season. I think that might have put a little stamp on it as well. I don't know. I had a couple people text me last night going, are the Panthers just really not that good? And you look at their numbers during the regular season, you can't say that. This is an incredibly talented team, but they looked very ordinary last night. Very ordinary. The Lightning made them look very ordinary.
They looked ordinary in the first round, if we're going to be completely honest here.
I didn't watch a lot of that. You watched more than I did.
I watched more than you did. And I mean, the power play right there. I mean, obviously Washington gave them their share of power plays, and they just couldn't score. And that's what made it so hard on them. They got behind in games 4, 5, and 6. And because they're the best team in the league at coming back into games, they're able to win those, and credit to them. But the Lightning and the Capitals are completely different teams right now.
Yeah.
Completely different teams. And if you think you can come out slow and do that against the Lightning, I think you got another thing coming for. I think the Lightning have definitely been, I think, kind of kicked to the curb, it felt like, going into this series. They weren't the favorite. Yeah. I get it. No Braden Point last night, by the way. The first period, the Lightning looked like they couldn't create any chances at all.
Yeah.
I'll say that right now. And Florida had the one play where Sergachev turned the wrong way and gave Huberdeau too much chance, and he made him pay for it. But outside of that, I mean, honestly, Barkov was invisible. Last night. I don't remember hearing his name till the third period. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. And the matchups were, obviously you're not going to get the final matchup on the road, but it looked like Cooper was able to get the people on the ice that he needed to, and that's one of the issues that the Panthers are going to have. They don't have a whole lot of depth of scoring, even though they got one from Duclair last night.
That's his first goal, I think, ever in the playoffs.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah. So they don't have a lot of depth, and when you don't have a lot of depth in the playoffs, it shows as you move through.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They have the firepower. There's no doubt. I mean, they wouldn't be where they are. I mean, it didn't happen last night. It was an isolated game, though. I think they will be better. Like I said, when your stars are invisible, as Barkov was for most of the night, when you get power play opportunities like Florida got, I mean, Lightning gave them some power plays too. And when Huberdeau, I mean, I thought Kucherov doesn't shoot the puck enough. I just learned why Jonathan Huberdeau had 90 assists or whatever this year, because this guy does nothing but pass. They weren't even respecting his shot. Mm-hmm. He did it 3 times in a row where he tried to make a pass into the middle, and it just wasn't there. The Lightning were just like, we're just going to leave you over there. If you're not going to skate in, if your eyes are going to move everywhere else, then we're just going to lay off of you. And that's so weird for a player like Huberdeau, who's a top 10 player in this league. They didn't even respect his shot.
Yeah. Just a tremendous performance last night by the Lightning. I think it was experience. It was toughness. It was, I thought the coaching staff did a great job in matching up those lines. And more than anything, I just thought it was the intensity of which they played. They got every loose puck. They were in every passing lane. It just seemed like they had 6 guys on the ice the entire night. And that's when the Lightning are at their best. They really are at their best. And then there's just a couple magic moments from Kucherov, and that's in Vasilevsky doing what he does. And I thought the D-men were really good last night. I thought it was a great team win. A great team win.
And they did it they went out with 11-7, which we were expecting. And I think, what was it? 27-13, the Lightning are doing 11-7 over the last however many years. So it obviously works for them. And for times yesterday, it was actually more like they were playing 11-5, because Chernak was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he got hit by, he blocked a shot. I think he took one in the back of the calf.
Yeah. And then Cal Foote only took 7 shifts in the first 2 periods, had less than 5 minutes of ice time. Mm-hmm. He sat on the bench for a long time. Don't know. I guess John Cooper just was like, I'm not going to put him out there if he's not going to. I guess he had an off night last night. I wasn't really paying attention to him, to be honest with you. But then he got back in there in the third. So for a long stretch of that, the Lightning were playing literally with only 5 D-men and 11 forwards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be hard to sustain. But a lot of the guys mentioned on the post-game show that, or maybe it was a pregame show, that you've got 2 off days, so you can rest a little bit. Maybe you put guys out there a little bit more. Maybe lean on your defenseman, your better defenseman a little bit more, because you've got to. That's the way they've got to make this series. They've got to muck it up, and they did a tremendous job of it last night. We'll get to the Rays as well. Big 8-1 win last night over the Tigers. Shane McClanahan quickly becoming the ace of the staff. Well, he's already the ace of the staff, but establishing himself as one of the better pitchers in this league. I mean, he was lights out again last night. 7 strikeouts, retired the first 9 Tigers, and Phillips and Arozarena, and who else hit bomb? KK hit bombs last night. Yeah. And Choi had a couple of RBIs. Nice job by the Rays. We'll get to them in a little bit, but let's go to the first goal of the night. Bolts were down 1-0. And I thought Florida did kind of own the play maybe for the first 20, maybe 30 minutes of this game. Although they were only had a 1-0 lead, that's a problem for them. If you're going to own the possession time, you gotta get goals. And Vasi did what he's supposed to do last night. And then came this little piece of magic from Kucherov. I mean, this is special.
He'll bring it into the Florida zone. Great move. Pass across. Scores! What a goal! That's a tap in for Corey Perry on an unbelievable play by Nikita Kucherov. And the power play marker makes it 1-1.
Undressed Ekblad.
I just said it. He's got some bounce in his legs tonight. He's starting to beat players one-on-one.
This is just phenomenal at the blue line.
Slips inside, and then Perry gets a gift. Everybody's staring at Kucherov now. The entire Florida Panther team. And Sherratt fights as well, coming across. Leaves Perry wide open, becomes a 2-on-1. Perry with a gift. Kucherov
Almost like
a magic play.
Almost like a no-look pass, too. Right on the tape of Corey Perry, and it's just a knock-in.
Corey Perry has scored probably combining playoffs, I think over 500 goals in his career. I don't think he's had an easier one than that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Just put the stick on the ice and let Kucherov hit it. That's pretty much what you had to do there.
A couple things on this goal. Did you hear the reaction in the arena when he made the move?
The gasp.
Everybody's like, oh. I mean, was there that many Lightning fans there last night? Because I picked that up more. This is the Sportsnet feed, not the TNT.
I think
there was more of a reaction on this.
I think it was Panther fans just going, "Oh shit!"
That's what I thought too.
What was that?
I don't recall hearing this on the TNT feed. The loudness of the crowd after he scored.
It was a gasp. It was an audible gasp. I think it was the Panther fans.
Yeah. But the other thing,
first time they made noise all night.
Yeah, and the other thing I pointed out from this, the shots I looked at the shot total here. This is what changed the game. Because I don't think Kucherov was playing that great.
No.
I know they were saying he had more bounce in his step, and that was true, but he wasn't really getting by anybody. And defensively, I was watching him more last night, and I texted you during it. I was like, he's just standing by the inboards in the defensive zone.
Yeah.
Not doing anything.
Yep.
So I was like, oh,
here's a lot of what he's done in the first series as well.
But once he did that move, the confidence, the high speed like that, he became Nikita Kucherov's best player in the NHL after that. And the shot total right here was 23-14 Florida at the time.
Right.
That just shows you how much they were carrying the play.
Yeah.
The Lightning ended up winning the shot total battle 36-34. This play right here
ignited
flipped
the whole team.
The entire game.
Absolutely. And not only did it ignite the Lightning, but I think it also put the Panthers a little bit on their heels as well. It's like, oh, okay, now he's coming to play. Yeah. We got to – once you get embarrassed like Ekblad did, I mean, he's a world-class player. Everybody else is like, oh, shit, I don't want him to do that to me. And they back off. You just tend to back off. You don't want them to go around you like that. And that was that was a jockstrap left on the ice like I've never seen. If you could break an ankle in ice hockey, he just did that. So that tied it at 1. And then the Lightning get a nice greasy goal right here from the Belmar line, the school bus line. This is beauty. Right off the faceoff.
Scramble off the draw. Maroon trying to play it. Perry with a quick shot. Bobrovsky saves goals. Belmar on the rebound. Snaps it home. His second of the playoffs gives the Lightning a 2-1 lead.
The best face-off man for the Lightning in round 1. At 56%, wins the scramble draw and reaches back, and Perry does exactly the same thing. And for the Florida Panthers, you've got to be tight to your checks off the draw. And you can see they're late returning, and then Belmar goes through as the center iceman lets him go, and he makes no mistake. He'll jump right past here for Hagee, and when he does that, he's left wide open. Bobrovsky with no chance.
Yeah, Bobrovsky was down after the Corey Perry shot, and that was an easy one for Belmar.
Yeah, he just kind of sneaked in there. You watch there on the replay, you had two guys, Sherratt and Ekblad. They both went to Maroon, and that's the problem. You had two guys tying up Maroon, and Belmar's like, well, I'm just going to skate right in.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky was really, really low
on
and that one.
Out of the crease, too.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to find the puck. And an easy tap in, I think, for Pierre-Edouard Belmar. in the fourth line. I don't know who thought the two fourth line guys are going to score the both goals of the game in this series.
Yeah.
But that just shows you that Lightning have some depth too.
Yeah, they do.
Don't sleep on their depth.
No, those guys have been important, and we'll play the Ross Colton here in a second. But the next one by Kucherov, I'm sitting there watching this go. What are they doing on this power play? They're just letting Kucherov go retrieve the puck. They're all just standing there watching him. Maybe they don't want to go out on him because they don't want to be embarrassed again. I don't know, but if you give him that kind of time and space, this is what he's going to do to you.
Back for Kucherov. Had to reach for it.
There's no one within 10 feet of him.
Skates it in. Takes the shot and scores. Nikita Kucherov with a power play goal. 3-1 Tampa.
Plain and simple. You can't give him this much time. And he'll come off the half boards here, and Weegar just stands still.
What are they doing?
Somebody's got to challenge him. And all Weegar ends up doing is getting caught in no man's land. And Kucherov here, a left-handed shot, uses him as a perfect screen, puts it right between his legs.
Yeah.
And you could tell Bobrovsky had no idea where that puck was.
Oh,
and a real nice job in front of the net.
Who's that in front?
Cirelli as well.
Cirelli.
Helped the cause.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
If that's your plan, keep doing it. He's got too good of a shot to just let him just dance around like that and just pick a spot and then it's over.
Yeah, similar to how the Lightning were not respecting Ross Colton, Jonathan Huberdeau's shot. It looked like they just were not respecting Kucherov last night either, but he clearly was in a shooting mood. And when they give you all that time, Nikita Kucherov has a world-class shot.
Of course he does.
He's got a world-class shot. And clearly the screen by Cirelli, I know they challenged for goalie interference. I guess it could have gone either way because he kind of, I don't know if you saw, he nudged him on the head, on the helmet, and it kind of took his vision away from it for about a second or so.
They're not going to call that.
But they're not going to call some, at least, I didn't have faith last night, actually. I thought they were going to call it. I actually thought they were, but they didn't. They let it go. And Nikita Kucherov last 30 minutes of the game was the best player on the ice.
Yep, he was. And then Vasilevsky and the team locked it down. And then for good measure, Ross Colton gets his, fourth? Is it his fourth of the postseason?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And this one is from the Lightning radio. I'll get one in here from our boys Dave and Phil here.
Beautiful.
Find it at Paul. Keeps it moving to Warren, right corner. Drops it right circle, Sergachev. Shoot, save made, rebound, Colton! Score! Colton! Another rebound in front. Colton buries it. It's 4-1 Lightning with 2:16 left. Another power play goal, their third tonight.
Boy, Colton standing right at the hash marks. Colton was there. See, right at the hash marks, and boy, he just fired that in. Beautiful. Nice play by Sergachev to get the puck through, and the rebound comes right out to the hash marks where Colton is.
Colton leads the Lightning with 4 goals in the playoffs now, his fourth.
How about that?
Sergachev.
Yeah, and what's the common theme in all those 3 goals, or 3 of those goals? The one is the great assist by go to the net, and there's nobody on them. These are guys that are just sitting there right in front of Bobrovsky. Nobody's checking them, and thank you very much.
Well, I'll tell you this about Florida, because I watched a few of their games in the first round. Obviously watched the game last night. Their best defender outside of Ekblad is Mackenzie Weegar, and some would argue he's better than Ekblad. He actually got Norris votes last year, and he might get some this year. He was horrendous in the first round of the playoffs, and last night he was out there for a few of those where he's just doing nothing. And I know Florida fans have actually been killing him, so that's something to look out for. That's one of Florida's best guys back there that is in a rut right now. Yeah,
they're going to look at this tape and go, "Wow, we're just leaving guys wide open." That's too much time and space. But bottom line is you can't get that one back. The Lightning go down there and steal game 1, set the tone for the series. If the Panthers don't come out and run and gun and blow the Lightning out in game 2, that's what they're planning on doing. That's what they're going to come out with their hair on fire.
Yeah.
And the Lightning are going to have to weather the storm early on and then just counterattack like they've been doing. And and the Panthers, if they don't stay out of the box, Their penalty kill is not impressive to me at all.
No, and the Lightning adjusted real quick. The first 2 power plays in the first period, I felt like it kind of felt like Toronto game 1. The Lightning had 2 early power plays.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure them out.
Yeah, and they just nothing really. I think they had 1 shot combined on the power plays here in this one. Nothing, no scoring chances at all on it, but they started to figure it out eventually and that's what Kucherov said after the game. You know, you don't change anything. You just kind of you keep playing how we used to. Corey Perry in the middle there will figure it out somehow.
Yeah.
And the Lightning did just that.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams at adjusting within the series, within a game, and they showed it again last night.
Yeah, another good point I'll throw out there too, and this is also Andrew Burnett. Let's keep in mind, this is not Joe Quenneville's team, who was a Hall of Fame coach, Stanley Cup winning coach. This is a rookie head coach in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I know coaching matters just a little bit in the NHL, I'd argue.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind too. This is his first rodeo of having to adjust on the fly against 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup champion team.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to keep your eye on too in this series.
And you can make the mistake of overcoaching too, and maybe they didn't coach enough last night. I don't know in terms of the matchups, but they just certainly didn't. They didn't have the advantage. They didn't. How can I put this? They didn't exercise their speed advantage at all. I thought last night they just did not.
Oh, I thought the Lightning. I think it's because more of what the Lightning did. They kept everything in front of them, and they really held up well at the blue line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, the entire third period, I don't recall a sustained presence in the offensive zone for Florida. I really don't.
And that's how you lock them down. Them down. All right, let's hear from Coach Coop after the game. His tone's going to be very measured. They've done nothing yet. It's just a win. But inside he's got to be just absolutely excited to see his superstar Nikita Kucherov engaged in this round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that was effortless, and what he said about Cooch, he knows what the guy he's going against is going to do before they do, and he made that one look easy.
How much does that kind of place like that lift the rest of the team up too? It's a 1-0 game, creates a penalty there.
Well, it's a 1-0 game, and the second period is dwindling down, and for us to get that goal, special teams has been a big part of these playoffs so far, and that was another big play. But to give us a little boost going in after the second, all tied up. Now it's a 20-minute game, and we won the period.
Minutes were hard to come by for like the Maroon line first series, with all power plays like that. Just what do you like about them tonight? Seemed like you were giving them some chances there in the third, especially.
Yeah, again, matchups are different. Teams are different. We're pretty familiar with this team. We've played them a ton over the last couple of years, but we have every single night we dress 20 NHL hockey players, and they all contribute in different ways. And they understand, from game to game or roles, things may change, but everybody knows we don't win without each other. And I think we have a pretty selfless group in the sense that, some guys know they may get 8 to 10 minutes a night, and some guys know they're going to get 22. And it's when you're out there, what are you doing with that time? And when you're on the bench, what are you doing? Are you lifting the group up? And have a really good group in that regard. And, as for tonight, we go 11 forward. So guys naturally are going to get some more ice. But we trust those guys. And, they showed their worth tonight. I know at times in Toronto series it didn't feel like it, but there was also just monstrous amount of penalties and special teams in that. So, but I think that's what makes our group special is everybody's pulling for each other. And when they get an opportunity, they pull through for you.
Any concern on Chernak on the left block shot there?
There's always concern, but I don't have any factual stats for you on how he is. So we'll have to wait on that.
Your goalie, I think, the second half of the first period after they scored, it seemed like they both made mistakes.
Questions about Bassey?
Well, it's the saves you make, right, at the biggest times, and Vass seems to do that. And I know that, in the Toronto series, he gave up more than he wants at times, and but look at the saves he makes at the times we need them. I mean, to me, that's what great goaltenders do, and they give you a chance to win a hockey game, and that's what our guy did again tonight.
I think you talk a lot about how defense it's effort, it's want, stuff like that. Are you pretty proud about the way you guys are starting to?
That's about the effort on defense.
Well, it's commitment, and we talk about the guys. You got to have the passion to win a hockey game, and you got to be committed. And if you look at, go down the list: Foote's block, Sergachev's block, Chernak's block, Killer's block. You just go down the list of this, and I find out tonight that McDonough is one of the all-time leading playoff shot blocker. I mean, that's commitment, and you need that to win a game, and the goaltender will tell you that, and that's what's clearly helped us out here last couple games.
Power play was 3 for 6 without Brady Point there. So that, how much do you think Corey Perry added into that? How you did it?
Corey Perry in the power play.
Perez has jumped in that spot before, so it's not like he's unfamiliar. Let's be honest, we miss a guy like Braden Point, but if you're going to have the success we've had over the years, and I said it this morning, whether you're missing Stamkos for a long period of time, or we missed Goudreau for a long period of time, or Cooch, or whoever it is, this group has found a way to fill in the gaps, and they did that tonight. And if whether Pointer's available or not, we could continue to do it.
I know you said that it takes 20 guys to win a game like this, but when Point is out, is it important for Kucherov to sort of step up?
Kucherov to step up when Point is out.
I think it's unfair to put anything on one player to say, oh, this guy has to step up or this guy has to step up. This is a team game. Coaches have to step up. Everybody does. And that's what you do. Because you rarely, well, I've never seen it. I've never seen you start a year with 20 guys and those only 20 guys play. I mean, your organization has to be deep. Everybody has to be on the same page. And, does it help when your marquee guys have the games they do? For sure. But those guys only play 20 out of the 60. Everybody else got to play minutes too. And I think it's just a, collaborative effort here that is getting us as far as we are right now.
I think a lot of what Coop's talking to is their commitment to defense, not just Kucherov. And I'm not going to say he was committed to defense last night, but he seemed to pick up his defensive play after they got that first goal. The whole team seemed to pick it up after they got that first goal. So, but I thought, Stamkos, I don't think he was on the score sheet last night, but I thought he played well defensively. I thought he was dogging people out there. I saw, Cologne, all those guys, they just were relentless on everybody. Every time somebody had the puck, there was a Lightning player in his face. And when they play like that, they're unbeatable.
Yeah,
they're unbeatable. Yeah,
the in playoff hockey, you need everybody to play as a team, and that's kind of the cliche that's been thrown around from time to time. But I still think your stars have to be your stars in those moments. And we talked about which Nikita Kucherov you're going to get tonight. Last night we kept saying that, and I was listening. I always listen. I think NHL Network Radio is a great thing when they bring on these past Hall of Famers to talk about the game.
Yeah,
I was listening to on the way in Paul Coffey, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
4 Stanley Cups with those great Edmonton and Pittsburgh teams back in the day. And he said, you could have it, whatever role players you want step up. But if your stars are not your stars in big moments, I don't care what team you are, you're not having any success. And that's the theme we saw last night. Nikita Kucherov and Andrei Vasilevsky especially were what they needed to be.
Goal scoring is an art, and in the regular season more so. In the postseason, it's more greasy goals.
Yeah.
And even though the Lightning had a beautiful one to start things off, those other 3 were more greasy goals. And that's what they're going to have to do. And I don't know if Florida is not used to playing a game like that. It's a frustrating way to play. That looked a lot like the Lightning against Columbus in that infamous series.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's why I was bored for a little bit.
The Panthers were Columbus.
Yeah.
The Panthers were the Lightning, and we were Columbus.
Yeah.
I
don't know if that's why I was bored for a little bit. I think we all had this expectation that we were going to be just skating around, and there was going to be 50 shots apiece. And
very different from Game 1 of last year. Game 1 of last year was the most exciting playoff game, especially in a round one, I think I've ever seen. And that was nothing like that game. And kudos to the Lightning.
Yeah, especially.
I mean, when you can win in different ways, and that's why I think Coop is harping on that team concept. When you can win in different ways, that shows what a great hockey team you are. You're versatile. And when you get hit with injuries, you can reform yourself. And what is the word I love? Malleable, right? You can, and that to the coaching staff and to the players. It's one thing to come up with that plan. It's another thing to have the talent and the commitment and the hockey intelligence to implement that plan perfectly, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning today in the playoffs, and why we're not talking about Toronto in the playoffs. Is because
it's a great point.
You played that series for 6 games, and it was very, very just wide open play.
Yeah.
But when it got to a game 7 and it got to where it was going to be a playoff atmosphere, really, truly, the Lightning were able to play that way. Toronto wasn't.
Yeah.
Last night, Florida was determined, I think, to try to play their fast-paced game and just kind of outskate the Lightning, who went through a very tough series that I think was their toughest series to date.
Yep.
And the Lightning played a whole different game, and I think kind of shocked them. I think that's kind of what they did.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And this is why I said as the series started, I'm not going to pick against the Lightning especially against the Panthers, until I see the Panthers do something. And they finally won a series against Washington. Okay, big whoop. As you said, they weren't that impressive in doing so. Until they beat somebody, until the Lightning show that they are vulnerable with their backs against the wall, which they have not shown. They always come back and play their best. And now they got a lead in the series. They can finish it in 6 on home ice. And I would hope that's what they're aiming for. But if they got to go to a game 7 down there, it doesn't bother me one bit.
Nothing
doesn't
bothers me about this team anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, look, I was nervous. You heard me yesterday. I'm very concerned about this series. The Lightning are going to have to play a little bit of different way with Braden Point. They're going to need Vassy to steal some games. They're going to have to play great defensively. And that's what they did last night. I don't think Vassy necessarily stole that game. I thought it was more of a team defense thing. But he, again, like Cooper said, he came up with the big saves when he needed them, big time. All right, we'll take a break. We'll hear from the players a little bit later on in the show, but when we come back, we're going to hit the Rays a little bit. Nice win last night for them. The Bucks mini camp is started, and Brady didn't show up for this one. Not that it's a big deal, but we'll talk about what happened at mini camp as well. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. There we are. You can reach him at PalermoPA.com. If you have any issues in real estate law or any legal questions at all, your man is Christopher Palermo. He specializes in real estate law, especially construction defects, sinkhole, water damage, anything that's happened to your house. He will represent you against the insurance companies that, quite frankly, don't like to pay out very much. They like to get money, but they don't like to pay out. So that's why sometimes you need a lawyer to take care of that for you. And Christopher Palermo is the man. If you've got stucco issues, if you got cracks on the side of your house from that stucco, and they say it's just settling, it's not. It could be, but it could also be defective stucco, which is something that was used a lot in the past 10 to 15 years here in the Tampa Bay area. So there's a lot of these issues, and that's why Chris Palermo has gotten back millions for his clients. So go ahead and go to the website, PalermoPA.com, and get the contact information. You can email him or call him there, find out more. But it's a free call, and find out if you have a case at PalermoPA.com. All right, the Rays win last night, 8-1. I've been bitching about the offense, so as soon as I bitch about something, they usually do something to shut me up. So I'll take the hit on that one. But the boys got it going last night. 3 home runs, which is nice to see. And which one you want to start with?
We'll go in order here. We'll start with Mr. Kiermaier here.
Mr. Kiermaier.
With his 4th home run of the year now.
To lead the Rays.
Well, active Rays. Brandon Lau on the IL with 5.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a fly ball back into right with Carey. That's got a chance to go. Out of here. Home run on an 0-2 pitch. So Kiermaier hits his 4th home run of the year. And the Rays take a 2-0 lead.
Not sure why you would serve up that meatball at 0-2.
Well, that foot's feeling better right now. A little jog around the bases helps with the circulation. That gives the Rays a 2-0 lead.
Good point, Dwayne.
Yeah,
Great point.
Well done. Yeah, he's feeling better already. That gave him a 2-0 lead, and they were not done. I believe who's next? Brett Phillips?
Mr. Brett. Back-to-back home runs here, or 2 games in a row with home runs, rather, for Brett Phillips here.
And a high shot into deep right off the bat of Phillips, and that baby is gone. Home run on a 1-strike pitch for Phillips. Home run number 4 on the year, and it's back to a 3-run margin for the Rays, 4-1.
Well, Brett Phillips is starting to swing a nice little hot bat.
Yeah, I had heard that he apparently has made some changes to his swing over the past week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has to do something with the launch angle.
Yeah.
Which he's starting to hit some home runs and
some bombs.
Yeah. I mean, last year he hit, I want to say, 14 home runs last year and limited at bats. So he's got some hidden pop in his lineup. And I told you this too. I caught this on the broadcast. Forgive me, I forget the little boy's name who was going through something. He's going through a medical condition. He threw out the first pitch last night. His favorite player, of course, was Brett Phillips. They chatted before the game, and Trisha Whitaker was explaining and showing like the video right as Brett Phillips was coming to the plate. And then they panned back over to Dwayne and BA as he was batting. And in my head, I'm like, man, what if he goes yard again?
You got to do it again.
And he did it again. And they didn't mention it on the broadcast last night, but I caught that, and I'm gonna go try to find that yesterday who the little boy was and what his condition was going through. But nonetheless, another very cool moment for Brett Phillips. He just seems to, I mean, I can imagine the joy on the little boy's face after he watched that ball go out.
Well, he gets obviously he gets inspiration from this. Yeah, here's the highlight right here. little boy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And this was bottom of the fifth. Yeah. Phillips and who was that? Wander Franco. Yeah. What a nice. These guys they're great guys.
Yeah.
Great guys. He threw the ball away too, and then Phillips comes up and bangs a home run. A little magic in this team. Well,
there really
magic.
is.
Yeah. And most of it centers around Brett Phillips.
Yeah.
Who
Shocker.
continues to hit big home runs. And Shane McClanahan, what can you say about him? 18 swings and misses last night, 7 Ks. He's second in the league in strikeouts right now. Finally gets some support from his guys.
Yeah.
Gets the win. And, he's the dominant guy that you have to have if you're going to do anything in the playoffs.
Can I just pencil him in for 7 now? Are we at that point? I could pencil a Rays starter in for 7.
Yeah, pretty much.
He has shown Kevin Cash has confidence in him to let him go. He kept his pitch count down yesterday to give him a chance to go deep. The really cool thing about Shane McClanahan in his second year, there's so many guys around the league that struggle with command. He is a strike thrower.
Yeah.
And if you ask why he gives up maybe a home run every game, it's because he's throwing strikes.
Yeah.
But a great number I found here, his last 6 starts, which has been his fantastic run so far, he's only given up 5 walks. It's not even a walk a game.
Yeah.
And only 10 and 8 starts total. So Shane McClanahan, you'd be hard-pressed to find maybe Verlander in Houston, who is just, I don't understand how his arm hasn't fallen off yet. But besides him, I think McClanahan's been the best pitcher in the entire American League. He's going to be a Cy Young contender. It's so hard to find left-handed starters like this in the MLB that throw that hard and have that command. In the Rays, I'm sure you saw that graphic yesterday. They clearly have no problem finding these guys.
No,
these left-handed hard throwers.
It's crazy. And then what they do with them when they get them. It's
I
insane.
hope this is one they hold on to, though.
Please. Yes, please. The Rays are now 22-15, and I would say through 37 games here that they've played B- baseball.
I would say B. I go with a solid B. But I think that's just a testament to how good they are, really, honestly, to be 22-15.
Well, if you're almost at a 600 clip and you're playing your B game,
and look at the injuries they have.
Yeah,
the lineup yesterday, when I saw the lineup come out, I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you go sometimes. But every now and then they get it. They kind of pounce for 8 runs and 3 home runs last night. Randy got a homer finally yesterday, and he was very excited about that.
Need to get him going.
I'd like to see, honestly, and I don't know what the splits are, righty lefty, but Harold Ramirez I think needs to be in this lineup more often. For whatever reason, when he's in there, he just hits.
Yeah,
he just hits the ball. He's hitting over 300, I believe.
Yeah.
To me, Yandy, him, Wander, obviously, those guys, Choi need to be in the lineup every single day.
Yeah, and at some point they're all going to get going. They're all not going to be there. Literally, I talked about this yesterday. Dwayne was reeling off the slumps that all these guys are in.
Yeah,
it's horrific. But yet here they sit, 7 games over 500, 5.5 games behind the red hot Yankees, who are 27-9. But that's not going to last. They're not going to play in 750 baseball the rest of the way. They're just not. So, and the fact that Boston is just, they're 14-22, they're struggling, and Toronto at 20-17 has just not been,
for them.
Yeah, it's just not been the team that we expected to see. Their run differential is -8 for the Blue Jays, and they're not scoring runs like I thought, and it's just not as complete a team as.
My goodness, I'm looking at that now. The Rays are +5. The Yankees are +74.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for the Rays to be 7 games over 500 with a +5 differential is
wow.
Yeah, that's
so that means it was negative coming into this game.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They find a way to win. They find a way, and that's always kind of been their MO, but that's not going to sustain itself. You're not going to be 6 games over 500 with a negative run differential most times. So, and it's still early season. You have a lot of games that got out of hand that may, affect that a little bit more. So that I think that stat becomes a little bit more important 3 months into the season than a month and a half.
I was going to say, we've seen Brett Phillips pitch, I think, 3 times this year.
Exactly. But again, this is a team that's playing there what I think is their B- game, and they're still in the playoffs. So not too shabby. Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, a very inspirational figure, Trent Ferguson, will join us. We'll chat with him. Also very learned on our Tampa Bay team, so we'll get his perspective. And definitely worth your time to hear this conversation today. You'll need it. Stay with us. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo and the Golden Diamond Source. If you're looking for a graduation gift, which is a great idea, why not the Golden Diamond Source? Get your young lady, your daughter, a nice little memento for her graduation of some sort. Or if you have a son, maybe a nice watch is always a great graduation gift. The Golden Diamond Source has the biggest selection and also has great programs like 0% interest for 5 years. They have that you can bring in some of your old gold and jewelry, diamond jewelry, and they can refab it for you. They can make something new out of it, or you can just sell it back to them and get the cash and buy something new and shiny right there at the Golden Diamond Source. Lots of different options there and very, very easy. The best staff in the business. So head on over to the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, I want to bring on a good friend, Trent Ferguson, who does sports radio. Also, you must know this, a very inspirational figure, is legally blind and just graduated with his Associates of Arts degree from, I believe it is South Florida, Florida State College in Avon Park with a 4.0 and was the commencement speaker. He is one of my heroes, and it's great to have him on. What's up, Trent? How are you?
JP, long time no talk, my friend. How's everything? I really appreciate you inviting me on here this morning. I love to inspire people, and you say that I am one of your heroes. Well, you're one of my heroes. You're a person I looked up to whenever it comes to sports talk radio, my friend. You know your stuff, and it's just a true honor to be speaking with you today.
Oh, it's always great to hear from you, my friend, and thank you for the kind words. But you are the true inspiration, and I marvel at the things you do, and I love bringing you on because I love your energy. And for those of us that from time to time feel sorry for ourselves and, certain things that are happening in our lives, and I look at what you do on a daily basis, and I marvel at that, and I use it for inspiration. I'm like, what would Trent do today? Well, he get his ass out of bed and go do something. So tell me, first of all, about you graduated with a 4.0. How do you get a 4.0 being legally blind? Like, take me through the steps. How do you handle your classes, your homework, all that stuff?
So this is a great question. And how did I get a 4.0? By the grace of our Lord. That's
of course.
That's how I do it. But you know how that is. But whenever I was in school, I had a couple of classroom assistants. One of them's name was Yoel Sanchez. He is a good friend of mine, a lifelong friend, and just really helped me out with anything. There were some things that I couldn't access, independently because my screen reader, by the way, just for reference, I use a screen reader called, the acronym is called JAWS, kind of like Jaws the shark,
right.
But it's actually called JAWS, Job Access with Speech, rather. So I use that, and it works with 95% of the documents that I need to read. And it also, reads my emails, reads my, text messages and things of that nature. And thank the Lord for technology, that's for sure. But my friend, Yoel, I did all the hard work. I typed up my papers and, wrote them, but he did the visual thing. He wanted to make sure that it met or exceeded the instructor's expectations.
Wow.
He made sure that things were, spelled correctly in case the JAWS screen reader missed like a spelling error. I mean, we all do it. We all misspell things every now and then. It happens. We all make mistakes. But Yoel made sure that everything worked out well, and it came down to hard work and dedication. My professors also admired my dedication because, it took me 4 years to get my degree, but I was working in a career that I had dreamed of working in since I was a kid in radio, mm-hmm. while going to college. So I was going part-time, and Yoel was there for me whenever I had some, of course, working in the biz, JP, that sometimes last minute things pop up, and so we had to, I had to do some last minute things for work sometimes, but right. He was always there, and he just admired my work ethic, and that was basically, I give credit where credit's due. And while people say I did the hard work, and I appreciate that, yes, I did work hard, but I also give credit to those who were in my corner and those who helped me along the way.
Incredible stuff to have a friend like that. Trent Ferguson joining us here. He's legally blind, also works in sports radio. So how do you get your takes, your learned takes, because you always know your stuff, when you can't necessarily watch the games? How do you do it?
So I listen to a lot of sports on the radio. So, for example, I heard you guys play a clip from Dave Michigan and Phil Esposito.
Yes.
Let me just go off on a side tangent for a second. In Tampa Bay, we have some of the best commentators and some of the best broadcast crews when it comes to the Rays, when it comes to the Bucks. You have Dwayne and BA on the TV side for the Rays. You have Dave and Andy and Neil, who I know very well, and of course my blind friend, Enrique, who's also a Spanish color commentator for the Tampa Bay Rays. They have a great Spanish broadcast as well. And then of course you can't forget Dave Michigan and Phil Esposito,
right?
Two great guys doing the hockey. So a lot of times I listen to the games on the radio, and I really, JP, I take notes whenever I listen to their broadcast, because they may mention something that I had never heard before, and they may, and then whenever they mention something on the air, I don't take it at face value. I go and research it. Of course, I know they know what they're talking about.
Right.
They're great people. That they are so, just their knowledge of the games inspire me, and they inspire me to up my game and prep as much as I can as well. So whenever they say, hey, this guy had 27 shots on goal, or the Lightning had 20-something odd shots on goal in the first period, I went and researched, and a lot of times I use my phone to have the screen reader read things to me. So I Google on my phone and say, okay, the Lightning had 30 shots on goal in this period. How many did they have in their last game, and how many did they have in game one of last year's series? You know, before the Lightning and Panthers, you mentioned that the game one of that series last year was different, and it totally was. It was different in more ways than one than the game last night. I went and researched that, you know, last night, and I said, wow, this was a much more exciting game. It was closer. You know, the Lightning were dealing with some adversity, and not to say they weren't dealing with any adversity last night, because they were. I mean, they're without one of their biggest stars, and Braden Point, who makes that offense potent, especially when it comes to the power play and when it comes to so many other things. And they're without. But I just admire the depth on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I just admire just the way that they go out and the grit that they have. And John Cooper is a great coach, because he says, hey, while Braden Point is out, the show must go on. We have other guys have to step up, and we've had guys like Nikita Kucherov come to form. We've had Ross Colton. Nick Paul was the hero on Saturday. So, I mean, you just so many things. So to answer your question kind of in a roundabout way, sorry, I got off on the tangent.
No,
I'm just so happy right now with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Win.
But just to say, you know, I do a lot of research, and it's a lot of, I think Dave Wills of Rays Radio said it best whenever he was interviewing a group of students at an elementary school one time that he posted online. Reading and retention. If you take the time to read, and you take the time to prep, and you take the time to understand and ask questions, you're going to know more. And knowledge is not just, you know, gaining knowledge can be tough sometimes, but it's also an opportunity, and you should see it that way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Trent Ferguson joining us here. So what were the keynotes of your keynote address in your commencement? What were you trying to impart to your fellow graduates?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that, first of all, the world today is, I hate to say it, but it's in shambles. I mean, so many people, the past 2 years has been very tough on so many people, and just, you know, with COVID, and even before then, with just just people being mean to each other, or, you know, when it comes to their views and everything. You know, yes, we're going to have different views, and because we live, you know, in America, we're going to have different views. But the thing is, your views shouldn't mess up friendships. You know, I mean, you should be able to talk about your views, and you should be able to, you know, have conversations, and it's not worth losing friendships over. So that was the main thing, is, you know, feel free to kind of address yourself the way you should. Feel free to take pride for what you know, and to take pride in what you know, and be open to learning new things. And basically, I said the day you stop learning is the day you take your last breath. You know, I mean, you learn something new every day. And I also talked about loving your loved ones. You know, I texted you right when my father passed away, JP. I'm sure you remember that last year. And he was only 51. And I always keep telling people, you know, yes, your loved ones, they may tell you things you don't like sometimes, or they may, but the reason they do that is because they love you, and they're looking out for you, and they want what is best for you. So return the favor, and just, if you hadn't talked to your loved ones in a while, just give them a call, give them a hug, you know, lend them a hand or a kind word if they're going through something, because unfortunately you never know when the last time will be. And the other highlights, I just kind of talked about my experiences, kind of like what we talked about earlier, you know, how the college was so accommodating, and how the professors were just really wanting their students to succeed. And that showed throughout their delivery of the courses, whenever they stayed late for office hours. I had to give so much credit to the college, because, you know, yes, like I said, they talked about how hard I worked, but it's a two-way street, and the college helped me along the way. And I truly believe in giving credit where credit's due, and my sincere gratitude to everybody there.
That's a great message, man. That's a great message, and one that needs to be heard these days, for sure. So what are your thoughts? We talked a little about the Lightning. What are your thoughts about this upcoming, you see the Rays now, they're 22-15. What are your thoughts on how they finished this season?
Oh man, the Rays are definitely interesting. We talked about research a few minutes ago. I was looking back at last year, and around this time last year, we're 22-15. We're 37 games in right now. They'll play their 38th game today. Last year, they were 19-19 through 38 games. So, I mean, yes, the Rays, they were right at 500. They're obviously a few games better than that. And they're a resilient group too. Kevin Cash is finding ways to get starters kind of playing new roles and bullpen guys, turning into starters. For example, Jeffrey Springs. Springs has looked great, out of the for the last few starts, kind of moving into a starter type role. And you look at JP Fireheisen, he's really playing well, and it's just kind of a next man up mentality. And that's how the Rays have gotten to the playoffs the last few years and nearly won the World Series during the COVID year. Like you, I have some concerns offensively. There are times during games where they can't get the big hit. Yeah. And then there are times, yesterday they got some bad news that Brandon Lau will be out for a significant amount of time with a stress fracture in his lower back. Backs are very fickle. You don't know how that's going to work out. So, but them getting that news, the team could have said, oh gosh, we can't hit. We got Brandon Lau and Manuel Margot out of the lineup, two guys that are responsible for almost 50% of the Rays offense this year. And they could have said, you know what, it's going to be a long stretch. But no, you had guys like Brett Phillips hit another home run. And I love your take on Brett Phillips. Phillips is really looking well. And just you talk about, I'm inspirational. Brett Phillips can inspire anybody, whether you're a fan of baseball or not. Just with his willingness to play the game and his hustle, no matter how the team is doing in a particular contest. So you had Brett Phillips, you had Yandy Diaz, you had so many other guys up and down this lineup, that are going to have to step up. And, no, they didn't face the Detroit starter. They hadn't faced him last night. And so if the offense can at least give their pitchers some wiggle room when they're on the mound, they'll be in good shape. But the pitchers have done, the pitching staff has done their job. Shane McClanahan, I mean, outstanding. I mean, what a great start he is. Corey Kluber has been good. Like I said, Jeffrey Springs, Yarbrough is kind of rebounding and on his way back. So I hope so too. But the Rays are right. They're in good shape. You should be happy if you're a Rays fan. If they can get their, we've talked about their offense for years, ever since I've been watching them. They've always struggled offensively, but the Rays are 22-15. The Yankees are just on fire. I wish somebody could give them a call and tell them to lose a few games. We do have that Rays Yankees series coming up on Memorial Day.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll take care of them when we see them. Well, Trent, listen, it's always great to chat with you. You're an inspiration. Congratulations on the graduation, and good luck in your future endeavors. Tell everybody how they can find your content on Twitter and online.
I am at Trent Ferguson 10 on Twitter. If you can, I'm just on Facebook. I'm on Trent Ferguson, and you can hear me on WNZF every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9. You can hear me on Flagler's Morning News, kind of being their weekday morning sports anchor for their sportscast. And then, of course, on Saturday mornings, I co-host a sports talk show, pun intended, called Out of Sight Sports. We say Out of Sight Sports, sports as we see it. And
awesome.
Like I said, JP, just before I go, I just want to say that, yes, I am totally blind, been blind since birth, but I do not let it stop me from accomplishing anything. And no matter what you have going on in life, you can accomplish what you want if you put your mind to it and you have that mindset of succeeding, because you have the ability to do that. It's up to you if you want that mindset.
Absolutely. 100% true. Thanks for the inspiration, Trent. It's great hearing from you, and we'll chat soon, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hope to see you at the Lightning game on Monday night. Would love to run into you.
Yes, absolutely. Hi. Yeah, we plan on doing that. All right, quick break.
Thanks, JP.
You got it, buddy. When we come back, Brian Bradley will join us, and we'll chat about last night's big Game 1 win over the Panthers, and we'll get his thoughts on how he sees the rest of this series playing out. Brian Bradley coming up next. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law office. Know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his team over there will get you right. If you're looking for a new primary care physician, they are taking new patients. So go to BAMMC.com to find out more. All right, let's bring in our good friend Brian Bradley, our Lightning analyst, former Lightning All-Star, leading scorer back in the day. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Great, JP. What a game last night. The Bolts put on a road clinic and carried it right over from Game 7. And, you know, to me, they were dominant last night in the game against the Florida Panthers.
Well, it was the most entertaining, boring game I think I've ever watched. Exactly the way we want it. Nobody wants to run and gun with the Panthers. And, I mean, that was a clinic, was it not, on how the Lightning just they shut them down, especially in the second half of the game. This last 30 minutes, they really, really shut them down. How'd they do that?
They just played great defensive hockey. I mean, you know what? It was interesting to see because they dressed 7D and 11 forwards. And
Yep.
you know what? With Braden Point being out, I mean, man, everybody picked up their game to a different level, almost just like it's just a spin-off of Game 7 in Toronto.
Yeah.
Corey Perry looked really, really good. Nick Paul looked good. Brendan Hagel, Ross Cole with a goal. I mean, you know what? And then, you know what? Panthers got out to a lead early, and then Kucherov with just an absolutely sick move. Absolutely. He put the defenseman inside out, jock strap flying from the top rafters. He turned him so clean and set up Corey Perry for a goal there. It was unbelievable to watch. You know, then Bellemare had a big goal there. You know, Corey Perry, Maroon, and then Kucherov with a great goal on the power play, and then, you know, Ross Cole with another one to make it 4-1. But, you know, the Lightning played so good. Vasilevsky held the forwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he played outstanding, and some questionable calls. I mean, how about when they were going to count the goal? I think to maybe tie the game up when it hit the netting in the back. Let me ask you this: how can all 4 refs miss that?
Well, and then the call leading to it was a joke too. I mean, McDonough, waits till he catches the puck and then smokes him. Great hit, legal hit, and I thought Cooper was going to lose his mind, and rightfully so. And then the freaking puck hits the net, and they're talking about a goal, and like, what are you guys doing out there? Like, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah, I agree, JP. I mean, the hit McDonough, at first you're thinking, okay, maybe it was early, but then when you watched it back, it was a perfectly clean hit. He smoked him. The guy caught the puck, and McDonough hit him a second later. I cannot believe that they called that.
Unbelievable.
After watching the review, and then for them to even count the goal, like where it hits the mesh in the back. I mean, there's 4 refs on the ice. It's just like, what are they watching? Yeah. I was in shock when I'm more watching on TV going like, it hit the netting.
Yeah.
Like, what? They should just disallow it, and then they go and review it again. I was in shock. But, you know, the Lightning from Vasilevsky defensively, I mean, Chernak had a block. I'm not sure if he came back at all, which I don't think he did. But it was just a solid game. I mean, you know what? The Lightning played so good. You know, it was just a total team effort. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the guys are buying in. I mean, they're playing at the right time now. And we talked about it before. Vasilevsky's got to step up, but he did last night. And, you know, the thing about it was a real quiet game. It was surprising because Florida really didn't try and come out. It wasn't physical.
No.
Like last year when they played the first round, the first game, it was wild in that building. Physical hits. I mean, Braden's point scored to make it 5-4. But last night's game was kind of like the big buildup of didn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think that was? The crowd was quiet. There was no energy in the building.
Know.
I think they were all watching the Miami Heat game on their phones or something. But the crowd was out of it. I mean, I thought the Panthers had I think scoring chances were 14-6 at one point of the game. But it wasn't like, you know, Vasi was standing on his head. It just felt like, okay, we're still in this. It's all good if we just get a break here and there, and then Kucherov does what he does, and it just changed the whole dynamic of the game. When a player, so let me ask you this: when a player makes a spectacular play like that on the ice, how does it just deflate the other team like it did?
Well, it did. I mean, you know what, they're talking about Eric Ekblad. You know what, he's their best defenseman, and he's been hurt, but back and forth. But you know what? He just got twisted inside out. Kucherov looked like he was going into the middle, and he bit, and then he went wide. And I mean, just the pass he made to Corey Perry for the empty net goal was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, JP, you might have been able to put that one in. Maybe
I think so.
I
think so.
Maybe, but I mean, you know, everybody on the team was just like, "Wow, that's just sick." And then, you know what? You know, Bellemare scores a goal, and you know, then Kucherov gets another one on the power play with a bullet shot. So, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, let Florida take, you know, what was it? We were 3 for 6 on our power play. So, I mean, you know what? And the Panthers, how about the Panthers? They're 0 for 21 or 22 on the power play. Can you imagine they never scored a power play goal in the whole Washington series? I can't even believe that.
Yeah. And they have opportunities. I mean, the Lightning penalty kill was great. But it looks like, Huberdeau he's very passive, and I mean that pun intended. But I don't know. The Lightning just seemed their intensity was almost like they were down a goal in the third period from the very beginning of the game. They just came out. They were just they didn't allow any time and space for any of their players for the most part. And if they can play like that every game and keep that intensity level, I think they can handle these guys in this series. But will they keep that up? You know how they take their foot off the gas when they get a win.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens on Thursday. I mean, it's a great coaching effort. John Cooper had a great plan, and we'll see about injuries. Hopefully Chernak's not too beat up. But at the end of the day, that's probably our Achilles heel right now. We don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean by that? We don't have a lot of guys. If injuries come into play, like Point and Chernak now, we don't have a lot of guys that can come into this lineup. So that's our only thing that I'm worried about right now. Injuries are part of the playoffs. It happens to teams. Sidney Crosby went out, but we just don't have the depth we've had in previous years. So you know what? Let's see what happens next game. But I thought we played one hell of a game last night. It was a great road game. It was a great road victory. It was a solid effort. And you know what? Boy, let me tell you, the Florida Panthers, they better be ready to go, because you lose 2 at home to the defending Stanley Cup champs.
You're toast.
It is game over. There's no way they can come back, because we're going to win 1 at home, go 3-1. And then, you just got a team that knows how to close. And Toronto saw it. They've won 9 series in a row. I mean, they're kicking it up at the right time, JP. They haven't did it all year, but here they go. The Bolts are on fire.
Well, and this is what they've always done, like in the past 2 years, is that they get their backs against the wall and they respond. I mean, they lose their best, their best two-way player in Braden Point, their best playoff player, highest scorer, and they don't blink. They just come out and just win a different way. How much of this do you give to Cooper and his staff? Do you think they outcoached the Panthers in getting matchups that they liked?
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was an executed great plan. They were juggling guys with only, they only had 11 forwards, so they're putting guys all over the ice. So coaching definitely is a factor. I thought John Cooper and his staff did a tremendous job. Definitely outcoached the Panther coach. And you know what? Goaltending was way better. Defensively, Florida had some chances, but nothing crazy. At the end of the day, it was a great road win. I mean, we were spectacular. That's what we need to do. You know what I mean? I can't even say anything. It carried over right from when Braden Point got hurt in Game 7 against Toronto.
Yeah.
We have clamped down and played Lightning Stanley Cup champion hockey now.
What do you think of Vasilevsky's play last night? I mean, he was locked in. I thought Matt had to make a couple of big saves here and there, but for the most part, there were a lot of blocked shots last night that really helped him out.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the game. Guys are blocking shots, sacrificing their bodies, doing what it takes to win.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the big cat, Vasilevsky, and that was outstanding. He was amazing. So, you know what? They just got to keep going. When you have a guy in there that can win games, it's intimidating for the other team. And like I said, it's just like when we talked about before. When you play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady's the quarterback, there's a fear factor out there for the visiting team.
Yeah.
You know that he could win at any time. And Vasilevsky's intimidating goal guys. When they're shooting against him, they're like, man, this guy is a fortress.
Yeah.
He can't get anything by this guy. It's frustrating. So when you get 1 or 2 by Vazzy, you're like, oh my God. But the thing about it is, if we score 3 or 4, you can't win.
Brian Bradley joining us here. All right. So what do you think the Panthers are saying in their practice session today? What is there going to be their thought process? How do they answer what the Lightning did?
Well, they're going to have to come out and play with more emotion, more fire, be more physical. I mean, I'm expecting fireworks tonight or tomorrow on Thursday.
Yeah.
They've got to have a completely different game. I mean, maybe they played that way against Washington and got away with it, but you're not going to do it against Tampa. There's no way. I mean, it'll be fun to watch tonight's game, the Battle of Alberta. I think this is going to be just like what happened to us last year. So I think both teams are going to be heated in the Battle of Alberta tonight with Calgary and Edmonton. I'm expecting Florida to come back that way tomorrow night, and we'll be ready to go. We know what they're going to do. We've been there, done that.
Hey, talk a little bit about that series. I mean, that's got to have the Canada on fire. These two teams going at it now. I think Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth are making visits over there in Canada. There's a lot going on. Canadians are booing our national anthem up in Toronto. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Mitch Marner's getting carjacked. What the hell's going on up there, bro?
I'm not sure. I heard about Mitch Marner coming out of a movie theater.
Yeah.
Getting held at gunpoint and a knife, which is crazy. But I don't know. But, yeah, the Battle of Alberta is going to be amazing. And last time was in 1991. I was involved when in the 80s when we had the Battle of Alberta with Gretzky and stuff like that. Those are crazy physical series. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy and physical as that, but it's going to be right up there. I'm going to definitely watch that game tonight.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And this NHL playoffs has just been amazing, and we'll see how far these series go. But right now, we're locked in with the Lightning, and so you think you might be able to go? You'll be going up to tomorrow's game up there in the Rat's Nest.
Yeah, we'll see. I think so. We'll see what happens. But if I go or not, it's all good. Getting ready for Sunday at home, Monday. But you know what? Let's bring another win back. And you know what? We got home ice the next two games. It's all good.
Let's do it. All right, Brad. It's good stuff, my man.
DJP.
We'll chat with you tomorrow or the next day. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks, buddy. The great Brian Bradley right there. Yeah. Canada's there's a lot of action going on up there right now. I saw the Prince Charles was in town. They're all getting up on him about the colonialism and all the stuff that they need to apologize for. It's not just us. I like seeing other people have to go through that too. Good for them. Good for them. But yeah, I cannot wait till what we got Sunday at 1:30 in Amalie Arena, up 2-0 on the Panthers.
So you're calling a win tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing that when predicting for this Lightning team, I think you have to stay true to what they've shown you. And what they've shown us is when they get some success, they tend to take the foot off the accelerator a little bit and let the other team get back in it. And then, of course, come back after that. So their pattern would tell me that they're probably going to have a little bit of a letdown in game 2 and lose that game. That's their pattern. So I hope they alter that pattern. I'm not a lot of times, like in the Toronto series, after game 1, how many Lightning jumped off the bandwagon, including yourself?
Me.
No, you did. But many did. Many were, oh my God, the Lightning are in trouble.
Listen,
they're not fast enough. They can't compete with these guys. Blah, blah, blah.
I was reading through Twitter yesterday. The first period yesterday, the fan base was ready to jump off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? We're the 2-time Cup champions. I think we got our pattern has been very clear. We go in there when we're starting on the road. And I heard Brian Engblom talk about this last night. He's like, I love starting on the road. I think it's advantage for the Lightning because they usually go in there and steal one, and they did. And against Toronto it was game 2, but in this one it was game 1, and that's what I expect from this team every time. They're going to steal one of the first 2. And then they'll do what they do, but I'm not counting them out.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I'm giving the Panthers respect. I think they're going to come back and play, probably one of their most emotional games. Now, if they come out emotional and they're hitting and they get too caught up in all that, it'll cost them because we'll crush them on the power play.
Yeah, I know it's been, how many games has Florida played? 7 games and they haven't scored a power play goal.
Yeah.
I have to think at some point that's gonna come to an end.
Of course.
Some
too
point
much talent there.
Way too much talent.
Yeah.
Every game it's just one game. I mean, how many times in the Toronto series did somebody get blown out?
Right.
And then that team came back and just kept winning the next game. I mean, the playoffs are, I don't know how much momentum really carries over from game to game during these games, especially when you have a talented team like Florida. They're going to figure it out. And that's why I don't know if I'm ready to make my predictions yet, but I say I will not be surprised in the slightest sense if they come out tomorrow and win that game. And if you're the Lightning, you take that any day of the week.
You take a split anytime.
You take the splits any day of the week, and then get it back at home, a 1:30 start time. We had one of those last year that I remember I attended, and that was a wild game too, and the Lightning won that one.
Was it the Panther series?
Yeah, it was game 4.
Game 4.
Game 4, and we were down 2-1. The Lightning, they scored like 7 goals, I believe. on that game. It was a 1:30 start though, I remember. So
yeah, I'm not huge on the daytime games, but whatever. The crowd will be nuts. A good chance that few more kids can come on a Sunday afternoon. So tickets aren't crazy.
No, they're pretty crazy in my opinion.
What are they at now?
I mean, I looked for game 3, not because I'm trying to go or anything. I just was curious. I mean, you're talking over $200 easily a pop. Over 200 a pop
for the 300s.
Easily. Yes.
So that's double what it was in the first in the first round series.
In Florida yesterday, the cheapest ticket to get in was I think just under 60.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that went down there to go to the game.
You could probably buy a ticket to that game, drive with gas being $4.50 a gallon, drive back,
and still be cheaper,
and buy a beer or two at the game and food, and still make it even then going to a Lightning game.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for a. But it's playoffs,
It's the playoffs, baby.
Step up. Everybody got to step up. What is this Messi connection to the Lightning? I saw this on Twitter. El Patron tweeting out, Lionel Messi is clearly a fan of Tampa Bay sports, including the Lightning and the Rays. And I think the Rays thing was Photoshop. Yeah, but he's got a Messi Lightning jersey, and I guess.
Do you know any of the story?
I do not.
I'm trying to recall back to this. I remember seeing it. I'm trying to do some on the go research here, but if I'm correct, I believe his name was Kaká.
Kaká, yes.
Remember him?
Yeah, he was played for
he was at Orlando City.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, I think that was the connection that Messi might have been in. I think they might have played a game maybe in Tampa, like one of those international like cups that they play in USA or in the area, and maybe they swapped. I think Kaká was down here too, and they both got a Lightning jersey.
I guess.
For some reason, if somebody out there is listening that remembers some of this, please let me know. But I kind of think that's kind of where it came from.
Well, this guy sent me this tweet. Kyle Berger said Leo Messi is the distant thunder. Patrick Ogla recently visited Paris and made sure to bring an extra jersey for the PSG star. Messi says he loves the jersey because he's also sponsored by Adidas, and he's rooting for a Go Bolts 3P. Well, we'll accept him on the bandwagon. Absolutely.
My goodness, everywhere he goes wins. So, I mean, come on.
Jump aboard. Now if we can get our GOAT.
Well, hold up. We need
Tom Brady to jump in the mix.
Oh, here you go.
Hey, did you see they're going to do a roast on him?
I did see
He's going to be a producer, like a part producer in this series. They're going to start roasting GOATs. So I guess they're going to do Jordan and Gretzky, and he's the first one they're going to do. That's being a good sport. I like that. That's going to be one hell of a roast too.
Oh, it's
lots of material.
I still can't believe that you had to take your little dig at him here. But I'm not. I'm not surprised.
I'm
not surprised because Messi's supporting the Lightning all the way in France, and Brady's not.
Do you think it's because he's got this loyalty to the Bruins?
No,
which I don't know. I mean, he lived there 20 years. I guess we can allow. He's probably got a ton of friends. He's probably best friends with Marchand and Pasta and all those guys. So he can't get, but they're gone. They're out. They're done. They're golfing. So now jump on in.
Listen, like I tell you all the
time,
jump on in. He has his own tier of athlete next to like 3 other guys, right? That they can do whatever they want, mind themselves. It's a little difficult for them. If Tom Brady goes to a Lightning game, can you imagine what the reaction would be? I think it's just a little too much.
I don't think it would be any different than Gronk.
Too much. He's okay. In all respect to Gronk, Brady's on a different level. It's stardom. In all respect to Gronk.
I don't know. I think obviously Gronk is more approachable. No, but he came to a game, I think it was last year. They gave him a luxury box of his own for him and his family, which is appropriate. Yeah. Great. Yeah, but if it's game 7 against Colorado, well, we'll be in Colorado, I guess. If it's game 6 in the Stanley Cup Finals,
you will get your 30-second video and you will like it.
That's all I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Something to put up on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share the Jumbotron.
You can share the moment with him.
All right. I'm not doing it in mean-spirited. I'm nudging. Like, we'd love to have you. I'm inviting. Come on. We need that Brady magic. We need that Brady magic. That's all.
Messy magic.
Or the messy magic,
Which
too.
we need an MLS team now, because did you see the report yesterday that apparently he's coming over to the MLS next season?
Messi?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And he's getting 35% ownership stake in Inter Miami, which is the team that David Beckham runs.
So he's coming to play for Miami?
Yeah. So he'll be in our state, but he's going to be in our.
That's what he's
going to be in the.
I'd like
that
to get,
part.
How about we get Messi and Brady to hit the Tesla coils?
You're just asking for way too much now. You've gone too overboard now.
I don't know. You shoot for the moon. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some Buccaneers. OTAs have started there. Some news to get to you. So we'll hit that when we come back. Quick break. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You
you go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, we're back. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center in our second hour. The Golden Diamond Source, American Mortgage Services. Scott Fitzgerald will help you out if you need a loan, if you need to refi. Rates are going up. They're not going to stop going up. So if you've missed the boat on that, you can jump right in, because 5 is better than 7. 7 is better than 9. Sooner you get in, the cheaper it's going to be. And Scott will make sure that he keeps the fees as low as humanly possible. So if you're having issues with your refinance, or you're trying to buy a new house and you need that approval letter, he is your man. My man Nick went through the process and got all his records in a day, got his approval letter back, and they're ready to go shopping. So I know there's a lot of different Rocket Mortgage and everything else out there that you can try and go through on your phone. No, go with someone here local that's been in the business here locally that you can trust, and has done over 3,000 loans in the area. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. You can reach him, Scott at amstampa.com, Scott at amstampa.com. All right, Buccaneers are going through OTAs. Brady was a no-show yesterday, but he's been showing up in the morning and throwing with a lot of the guys. So, I mean, does anybody have any qualms at all about Brady not being there? No.
Tough guys on Twitter.
What, tough guys on Twitter?
The tough guys on Twitter.
Why isn't Brady
be there?
No, he really doesn't. So there's a 3-day mandatory minicamp starting on June 7th. They'll be there for that. Other guys that were there yesterday, Vita Vea, Ryan Jensen, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs, all Pro Bowlers. So they're getting a great turnout there. But Brady has been out there in the phase 2 is what they call, throwing to some of his receivers. But right now it's voluntary, and it's more of a for the young guys and the guys that are on the fringe trying to make the team, and guys that are developing like Kyle Trask. D. Delaney, a surprise survivor of the final roster cuts last season, ended Tuesday's workout with 2 big plays and 11 on 11. He deflected a Kyle Trask throw that the rookie free agent linebacker Olakunle Fatukasi. Am I saying that right? Fatukasi? Well, you can mess that up easily.
Yeah.
So, a couple of plays out there, according to the Times. So, but it's underwear football at this point. Not a whole lot that we can really glean from these young kids.
No, and as we talked about with Scott Reynolds the other day, it's probably best that Brady's not there,
right?
Because you need Kyle Trask really in the last year or so hasn't really had a lot of chances to throw a lot of balls, and I think going into this preseason, I mean, myself, I don't really need to see Brady in the preseason when we get closer there. I know that he probably would want to. I think he likes to get those reps, but I think I'd like to see Kyle Trask play most of it.
Yeah.
Just to keep him sharp. See what you got at some point with him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because
he's got to get some work. I wish he could go play in the XFL or USFL or something like that. Get some reps.
I really wish that was it sounds like if any of them's going to have a shot to do something like that, it's going to be the XFL.
Yeah.
I think The Rock has kind of pointed out that they might be interested in doing something like that, which I think for the survival of these leagues, that would be better.
Yes. They need to get a connection.
I
still have not watched any USFL. I know it's on every weekend. Is it getting any ratings? Is it getting any?
I haven't checked the ratings recently myself. It's just there's so much going on in the world of sports right now.
Exactly.
And that's why like spring football for me, I've never understood I respect trying and going out of your way and try opportunity. I love it. The springtime to me, there's so much other stuff going on. And I think there's the build up to football is what everybody enjoys. I enjoy not that I enjoy having not 8 months of football, but it kind of makes you love it more when it comes back. Right.
Yeah.
There's just an aura to it. And I don't know. I don't get the appetite myself.
I don't.
But I mean, we're gonna have another one with the XFL, and those ones are gonna be on ESPN and ABC. The networks are buying it.
Yeah, I guess because people are watching it.
People are watching it.
They must be watching it more than the other sports. And I guess it's easy to bet on. People, and a lot of it has to do with gambling. So who knows? I until they get some type of affiliation with the NFL or maybe even college teams or something, I just have no interest in it. You know, if you had a Florida-based team that was made up of all Gators and Seminoles and Hurricanes and stuff like that fed into an NFL league, that's something that would interest me. That's kind of like a minor league baseball thing. But these just, these knockoff leagues just for the football for the sake of watching football, you don't really know the players. You don't have really any allegiance to it. It's meaningless to me.
When I have watched, I have enjoyed it. There are certain players that I've gotten to know more now from watching it. And I think next year, I think you have to cut them a little bit of slack because they're doing the whole thing with one location for the first year, which is to protect their bottom line, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
COVID with being whatever it is right now also. But maybe next year, if this makes it, which I think it'll be fine, actually. I think the ratings are pretty high enough for Fox, loves it. So next year, whenever it moves to having everybody having their own city, maybe there'll be more buzz in this area, especially for the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Yeah, there's been no buzz here.
And we'll see.
No coverage, no nothing.
But anyway, back to the Bucks, obviously, yesterday. I was reading a lot of notes through Scott Reynolds, who pointed out his big takeaway was Vita Vea looks big. And we know he's big, but he looked bigger.
Bigger?
Apparently.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's bad. I think it's more of a note that he pointed out. He's just really big. And remember last year, Bruce Arians kind of said you need to lose weight.
Yeah.
Before the season started. And Vita Vea, you remember last year we were kind of saying, why is this guy not playing more on the field? I don't know if it's a conditioning thing. I think Vita Vea said it's more about being more available for the playoffs. But then we got to the playoffs. Remember, he was only playing like less than 50% of the snap in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which was bizarre.
I don't get that.
So, but Todd Bowles yesterday was kind of very, I guess, I don't want to say is bland the right word, but plain, maybe. I don't know. He's not the greatest quote in the world.
No, he's not going to be Bruce Arians. It's a different. He's different
demeanor.
He doesn't have to be.
But he was joking a little bit at the presser. He was kind of having fun with some of the questions he was being asked.
He seems very at ease.
Yeah,
seems very at ease.
I mean, he's done this before. He's not a rookie at this.
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact on the team.
I don't either.
But yeah, day one is through. Russell Gage, I think, is probably the biggest omission that's not there. I think he's the only new signing that did not make it there. So if you want to say that someone's interesting that's not there, I guess him because it's a new team. But again, it's OTAs.
I think one of the most exciting things I saw was Cam Brate's mustache.
You like
what? What is that? He looks like an English actor, like from like 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I don't know. He doesn't look like a football player. You see it there's a picture of him right there. It just. I don't know. It just works. He did mention that Gronk.
I found it. That's what he looks like.
What?
Look at my computer.
No. Does not look like Ron Jeremy at all. I mean, it's kind of a porn stash, but it's more of a Tom Selleck. It's more of a Tom Selleck stash, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He looks like an English actor.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So he mentioned that Gronk danced for like 4 hours nonstop at his wedding. So that was interesting for some. Other notes from practice. This just in. The Bucs are going to do joint workouts with the Titans in Nashville in August and host the Dolphins for similar sessions. I love the joint workouts in practice. You get a lot better look and can see who's standing out and who's not, especially the young guys.
Oh, you mean Tyreek Hill's going to have to deal with us again?
Yeah.
For a whole week?
Yeah, he wants no part of that.
I don't think he wants any part of that.
He wants no part of that. Here's a real interesting thing. Ali Marpet did a very long-form interview with The Guardian, which I believe is an English publication?
I think so.
Whatever. He said and talked about his retirement. He said, the biggest reason for me was the physical toll. I didn't want any more of that. There were some things I wanted to accomplish in my career that I had done. I love playing football, but one of my strongest values is health. And if I'm really going to live out what's important to me, it doesn't make sense to keep playing. There are also unknowns of the head trauma of the NFL and how that plays out, plus your joints, the aches, the pains that come with surgeries and all that stuff. It continues here. Marpet missed 3 games after concussion in November of 2020 and suffered mild symptoms afterwards. However, he says repeated subconcussive blows, which have been linked to brain trauma, are perhaps more significant. Bearing the literal burden of an elite offensive lineman also took its toll. Marpet, who played at 300 pounds, developed sleep apnea and hypertension. I was eating as clean as possible for a 300-pounder, but having all that weight on your body is bad. So, yeah, this is kind of exactly what we kind of talked about when he first retired. I know it was shocking to a lot of people, but to me, it made a lot of sense with L.A. Marpet. I mean, he's a guy that has a lot of eclectic interests, and not just football. Comes from a very interesting family. His mother, Joy Rose, is a musician and leading advocate for increasing the value of motherhood in society. His father, Bill, is a renowned Emmy-winning director of photography and fashion producer. So he's got a lot of different interests in his life. He was interested in working on Wall Street at one point. He wants to do a lot of community involvement stuff in the social justice realm. Is something he came very much involved with. So he's a very interesting guy, but I thought it was very interesting talking about the subconcussive blows, and I mentioned this from the gentleman we had on from Harvard at the Super Bowl,
Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, Chris Nowinski, and they're doing these huge studies now on CTE, and they now have 200 ex-NFL players' brains that they've studied. One of them being Vincent Jackson that he talked about from here. And they've gotten so much more information now that they're sharing with the players, and the information is not good. It can even go back to high school. If you have 1 concussion, 2 and 3, it gets really bad. And those subconcussive blows, and if you think about a lineman, they're hitting their head on every single play. Mm-hmm. Almost every single play, it's a helmet-on-helmet shot. And, not necessarily a 3 or 4 or 5 yard running start shot, but it's the constant knock, 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 knock on your brain. It's not good. And I think, and I said this then, and I'll say it again, I think we're going to see a lot more players doing this. You get through 3 or 4 years of your second contract. He's made $37 million. It's time to get out.
Yeah.
It's time to get out.
And just, you could tell by the way he lives his life that he's not the kind of guy that has that $37 million. He's like immediately blown it.
Right.
So I'm 100% sure probably that he is doing just fine with his bank account right now as is.
Yep.
And it's just not worth it. When you start developing symptoms like that and you start developing actual things that you've been diagnosed with, football is not the end all be all with your life. In the grand scheme of things, if you're one of the players, if you're a player like L.A. Marpet, you get 10 years, usually 10, 15 years of your entire life to do this, period.
Yeah.
It's just not the grand scheme. It's just not. And he got married recently.
Yep.
He's obviously very bright and has a lot of other things he can put his mind to and do with his time and his money, frankly. So it was surprising at the time, but once you kind of sit back and dissect and you read that article, which I think that's the first time he's really spoken about it.
Yeah.
You kind of understand why. You understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. It was a good decision for him. And honestly, I thought that was going to lead to Brady definitely not coming back after that and lead to a complete and total rebuild. Remember we talked about this? Wow, this was unexpected. Now they got to go out and fill that hole.
Or 40 days of hell that we had to endure.
Within like 2 weeks, you give away a 5th round pick for an all-pro guard in Shaq Mason.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that Belichick gave him away for a 5th round pick.
I can, based on what Bill Belichick's done the last 2 off seasons. Again, he's the strangest dude in the league, I think, at this point.
Some of the moves he's making. Here's an article from CBS Sports. We see these like every couple weeks. People talking about when's Chris Godwin coming back. This one says he could miss the start of this season. I'm not really that worried about that. Are you? I mean, I think first of all, I think we're probably going to sign another veteran receiver to come in here. There's too many good ones out there on the marketplace. So I don't know. I think we'll be fine. And I also think Godwin will get back sooner than later. He's just that type of guy. He's a tireless worker, and he's got a different type of body. Dude's a super. I mean, he almost came back in the game after tearing his PCL and his ACL. I mean, that would not have been good, but that's how tough this guy is.
Yeah, Todd Bowles was asked about that yesterday. Didn't have a timetable really for it, but he said, he's progressing and he's obviously working really hard because he's Chris Godwin and he's going to work hard in anything.
Right.
I'm not going to rule him out for week 1. I think that'd be foolish to do so because what was it, December, right? That he injured it? Were we in December at the point? I believe we were. It was it was December.
Yeah,
it was
or
near Christmas.
Late November. Yeah,
I think it was near Christmas in there. So
with that cheap shot.
Yeah,
I still say that was the cheap shot.
Oh, of course it was.
And
of course it was.
And the way the way they were playing the game that day, the Saints bothered me tremendously. You could just see it. It was like they were going to take out somebody to make sure that the Bucs did not win the Super Bowl, and you could argue that they did their job.
Yeah,
they did their dirty job that they were setting out to do. It was completely, and that you want to talk about breaking a code. People were talking about that with Pat Beverly the other day, and there was an NBA play where it was a dirty play where you break the code. That's breaking the code. You don't put a helmet on a guy's knee like that coming over the middle.
The NFL one, I understand. The whole NBA thing about breaking the code, I still like.
No.
Or did anybody really? You cannot with a. We didn't even. I don't know if we even talked about that when John Morant was trying to accuse Jordan Poole of his knee injury.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you right now, Ja, and everybody, that you can't just nobody's like tearing your knee by doing this to your knee. You see this?
Yeah.
Nobody's tearing your knee doing that, okay? Especially like a nudge that it was. So breaking the code.
I understand, like when you tackle a guy who's in midair, that's not good. That's not good. So I get that, but in terms of the NFL, you don't put your knee.
The NFL is a little different because we're talking about a league where you are allowed to hit on every single play, and you have a lot of big men wearing a lot of big equipment that hurts. It's a little different.
Well, I also, but just the way he went about that hit, I'm trying to remember who it was.
It was Chauncey Gardner, was it not?
I gotta go back and look at that. I think it was the kid from Florida, wasn't it?
Chauncey Gardner.
It might have been. All right, we'll take our final. Do we need to take another break? Are we breaking?
Yeah, we can take a quick one.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and finish things up. We got a little bit more sound from the Lightning I wanted to get in, and a couple other thoughts maybe. On the NBA, a key player is out, and now we're down to the conference finals for COVID. Seriously? Back in a second. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
Fanstream Sports.
Yeah, it was a really quick break there. We are brought to you by BAMMC in our second hour, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Check them out. Also, the Golden Diamond Source, Italiano Insurance. Our good friends at Italiano Insurance. I know homeowners insurance rates are going through the roof, so it's always a good time to check and see if you can save some money there. There are a few companies that are trying to, get some more business in the state of Florida, so let them shop it around for you. Just give them a call over there, 813-877-7799, and a human being will actually answer the phone and talk to you, which is rare these days. You get real customer service at Italiano Insurance, and they'll shop it around for you while they're there. Tell them to shop around your auto insurance and everything else. Save lots of money. 813-877-7799.
Yeah, I took a quick break because I thought we had some good news to get here, too, in the last 7 minutes we have here. This just came through. Shane Baz is having his rehab start tomorrow.
Oh, great.
For Durham. He's going to go 2 innings, and then he probably will have another one after, I would imagine. And then he'll be, if all goes well, he should be back in the big team. So reinforcements are coming.
That's good. I mean, and he was really, really good at times last
good.
year. So I know the playoff start wasn't exactly what he wanted, but this kid's got some real promising stuff. So we got him, and there's who else is there's one Anderson. We're waiting on him.
Yeah,
what's going on with him?
No idea on him. JT Chargois and Chris Mazza, who, I mean, to be honest, I don't need to see Chris Mazza up here again. Chargois, I would love to see back up here. He's also going through his rehab assignment today with Durham, so he should be up here as well soon. So they're going to have a lot of decisions to make in that bullpen, but a good problem to have.
All right, little NBA. The Celtics got blown out last night. Jimmy Butler and the Heat put it on them pretty good, but they were without Marcus Smart, who's dealing with a foot injury, I believe. But Al Horford, who was so big for them in the series against Milwaukee, it did not play. It was he was a late scratch, and they got to have Al Horford if they're going to contend in this series. They just have to have him, and he's out for the health and safety protocols. We don't know. I haven't seen anything whether he tested positive. I guess he must have tested positive for COVID. I mean, we're in the conference finals, and we're taking players out for COVID.
That stuff bothers me.
That are vaccinated and boosted, and everybody else around them is vaccinated and boosted. I mean, we're having very few hospitalizations now. There's a cure for COVID in case anybody gets sick. I mean, what are we doing? What
I don't even know. I have
doing?
No idea what the protocols are with the NBA right now. I actually didn't even know there still were. I mean, listen, hey, if Al Horford, we have no idea. I'm just speculating. But if Al Horford didn't feel right and this was his decision to get tested or didn't want to play, again, that's his prerogative, obviously. But I just, if it's whatever it is, I'm sure I can't.
Not. I'm sure he's
I don't know.
Cold.
Probably, but I can't stand when we get to this point of the playoffs and we have things being impacted because that's a big deal.
Crazy.
It's a big deal. It's a 10-point game and you're playing without Al Horford, who's been like your second best player down the stretch.
What is it based on? It's scientifically right now. How have you not adjusted your protocols and say ridiculous?
I don't know. The game had to go on. Miami won. I think Miami is my favorite right now to win the whole thing.
No, the Warriors are going to win.
No,
I told you
Jimmy,
that a month ago.
Listen, I tell you, Jimmy Butler put up 40 again. He hasn't had a single 40-point game with the Heat in the regular season. He's got 5 in the playoffs. He's a postseason player. I'm telling you, he's a top 7 player in this league. Hot take city, maybe.
Yeah.
He's a winner. He's a winner. And he's going to get it done this year.
I like the way he balls. But nobody's beating the Warriors. Too much firepower. What else did I want? Oh, do you have the Bissonnette sound? This is getting back to the Lightning. So this is a guy from Spittin' Chicklets, Paul Bissonnette, who was bitching and moaning about the Lightning in the Toronto series. I don't think he's a Lightning fan. He doesn't have to be a fan, whatever. He's just trying to call it like he sees it.
He's supposed to be an unbiased
but he's gonna have to choke on this interview that he did, right? With
this was from his Spittin' Chicklets. This was yesterday before the game.
Paul Bissonnette.
Florida, they look awesome. I kind of look at it like Tampa Bay, where they, when they lost out in the first round and got swept by Columbus, they just needed to get over that mental hurdle. Well, I think they have, and I think they're going to roll on now.
Wow.
I think they're going to roll. I think they're going to beat Tampa Bay in 5 games.
Oh, buddy,
what do you mean with no point?
Andre Vasilevsky.
I don't fucking care, buddy. They got no point. Okay, they got no point probably. They got Kucherov, who looks banged up. They look exhausted. Listen, they're the champs. Heart of the Lion. I get it. But I think that they're going against a wagon in Florida who's gotten over the mental hurdle, who's now going to just pepper them with shots. And I don't care how good Vasilevsky is. He ain't good enough to win them this next round against the Florida Panthers.
That didn't last very long. Not a real good take.
I guess the Panthers are going to have to do a clean sweep here in the next 4 games.
I guess so. Yeah. But the Lightning played that probably before their game. If not, they should be playing it, no doubt. Not that he's the end all be all, but I know Torts picked the Panthers. A lot of people.
I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you.
I can see it without Braden Point. I can see it. I can definitely see it. But again, yes, Heart of a lion, heart of a champion last night.
Those things matter.
They do matter.
I don't know why. I mean, this is a guy who played in the NHL poorly, I might add. Very poorly in the NHL.
Yes.
But those things matter.
They do matter.
Those things matter a lot. I think I was listening to yesterday. Rick Tocchet, he has some sense. He told him yesterday flat on the broadcast, those things matter.
Yeah.
I trust Rick Tocchet more. He has 1,000 points in this league.
Yeah. Yeah. And has coached a little bit too.
Yeah.
I like the coverage last night, by the way. I thought they did a really good job.
That's their
It's
broadcast.
It's not Bally's. I mean, I would love to see Bally's, but caught the post-game show. They did a great job, and they get a post-game show every
But it ain't ESPN, though.
It ain't ESPN. Thank God. Thank God. Yes. All right. Our thanks to Trent Ferguson, who joined us here earlier today, and Brian Bradley. If you missed anything, you can catch it on our app. Download our app, FanStream Sports. We're having a lot of people listen on the app lately, so we appreciate that. And you can just tap that app, and it comes up anytime, anywhere. You can listen to middays, afternoon drive, whenever. It's always there available for you. You can go to the podcast section and get all the archived shows as well. We're also available on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, and enjoy the program. All right, Rays and Tigers again tonight, so go Rays, and we'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. See you then.